Black girl luxury. Is it A, a beautiful and long overdue expression of what Black women deserve, what Black women want, and what Black women have been doing? Or is it B, a trap, a scam, a useless ploy to get all of our money? Or is it something in between? Let's discuss. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are good, hope you are well. Before we get into the topic of Black girl luxury, I think it's very fitting that this Black girl is wearing a very luxurious wig. Thank you again to London Virgin Hair for sponsoring this video. You guys really liked the hair I had last time, which was the Marley wig. It was like a yucky, kinky, straight texture, and that was in a 12-inch. I'm back. This time I'm back with the London middle part, and this is in 24 inches. It's giving Black girl luxury. I'm in love with this hair. I'm in love with the quality. I'm in love with the fullness. And like I told you before, London Virgin Hair have very kindly created a discount code for us. If you use the code Adella, you get 10% off any London Virgin Hair product. Or if you go to the link that I'm going to put in the description, it will automatically apply the discount for you at the checkout. I told you before, run, don't walk. If you see me on Instagram stunting with this wig, you already know it's from London Virgin Hair. Thank you. In the spirit of presenting a balanced argument, you know that's my favorite word, balance, I'm going to dig deep and search for what could potentially be the pros and the cons of this thing. I'm already kind of leaning towards a conclusion, but we'll get to that. And I call it a thing because what even is it? What is Black girl luxury? Is it an aesthetic based on how you look, what you wear, places you frequent? Is it a lifestyle? And if so, what is the criteria? Is it a certain home? Is it a certain level of spending? Is it doing specific or a certain type of activity? Or perhaps it's a movement, like a social, political type movement, whereby Black women are making it known that they do deserve and we can achieve, and we've been achieving a luxury lifestyle. I don't know the answer to that, and I suspect that it might sort of like float around those different areas based on who's claiming it, if you are claiming Black girl luxury. And every girl that claims it might have a different sort of definition of what that actually means to them. From my understanding, just based off my assumption when I hear Black girl luxury, I understand it to be exactly what it says on the tin. This is the official, well, this is the Google definition of luxury. A state of great comfort or elegance, especially when involving great expense. And if we dissect those defining words even further, I think we can probably agree that the definition does become subjective and like relative to different people. The words that are in that description are comfort, elegance, and great expense. Those words will mean something different to all of us. And if I was then to go into like the individual definition of each of those defining words, then we probably end up in a rabbit hole of subjective definitions. So I guess if you feel that you're achieving great comfort, great elegance, and doing things that involve a great expense, and you happen to be a Black girl, then I guess you're living, doing, being Black girl luxury, right? And then personally, again, to me, the definition of luxury means the opposite of a necessity. When I think of luxury, it means necessity, luxury, opposites. And I don't know if that's like an official definition somewhere, somehow, but I think I remember learning that definition when I studied economics, and it kind of just stuck. So basically anything that's not a necessity is a luxury. But then again, not to be annoying, but you could argue that what a necessity even is subjective. For example, most of us, all of us hopefully, would argue that food and shelter is a necessity. But does that mean that anything above baked beans and a cardboard box is luxury? Probably not, but you get what I'm saying. So I would say look at it personally. Like I'd look at my upbringing, I'd look at what I've become accustomed to, what I think I need personally. And then I'd say anything above that is luxury. And then maybe over time, some luxuries will become the norm, and then they kind of slip from the luxury pile into the necessity pile, and then your standard for what is luxury goes up. You get what I mean? For example, growing up, I never even used to think to book a taxi to go anywhere. Anywhere that another means of transport could take me, taxi was not even an option. I mean, if I can walk, if I can take the bus, if I can take the train, if somebody can drive me in a personal car that's not a taxi, taxi is not even an option. But nowadays, I be ordering Ubers like it's going out of fashion. And to me, when I think about it, that is a luxury. It's a luxury that I get to enjoy now that I'm an adult, now that I make my own money, and now that I'm able to afford an Uber as a as a nice to have when other means of transport might be available but less convenient. But anyways, you get my gist. As a black girl, I guess black girl luxury to me, if I was to use the phrase, which to be honest I don't, but if I was going to use the phrase, it would look like me getting Ubers everywhere, going on frequent holidays, maybe buying higher quality items of like food and clothes, and basically splashing out relative to the lifestyle that I once knew or grew up with. But then I think we can agree that when we see the term used, it's usually in relation to a broad but still kind of specific lifestyle. Often one that involves expensive clothes, beautiful locations, designer or high-end items like rare foods or sports cars. So I'd say it's broad because obviously like designer and food and holidays can come in a range of different things, but then specific because it's still designer and it's still like monetary, is in that monetary realm. And then on one hand, I can see and maybe even encourage a conversation around consumerism, living beyond your means and keeping up with the Joneses that might heighten as a result of this thing, that the fact that black girl luxury has become a phrase, a thing, a trend maybe. By making it a trend, a thing, an aesthetic, a lifestyle, are we adding to an already existing thing that we see, especially in social media, that is people, and in this case, black women, trying to live a lifestyle that they can't afford, making poor money decisions for the sake of living this aesthetic? Whereas once upon a time, maybe black women living a luxurious lifestyle was just that. It was just them living their very accustomed luxury lifestyle. Now, with the introduction of social media and social media influencers, has that pool now expanded to not just include black women who were just living luxurious lifestyles, maybe black women that were rich? Has it now expanded to include black women that are attempting to live a luxurious lifestyle that is actually beyond their means? I spoke about this whole keeping up with the Joneses thing in a previous video that I titled, Is Everyone Broke or Am I Just Faking It? I would definitely check that out because I talk a bit more about that. And it's not in relation to black women, it's just in general on social media. So that's one argument. And to be honest, I think it's an argument that needs to be had in general, outside of the black women in luxury space. Just generally, why do we be doing this, living beyond our means, for like what, in my opinion, is like a fickle acceptance and then long-term suffering. But then, on the other hand, I can't help but wonder or think that sometimes the criticism that does arise around this whole black girl luxury thing, I can't help but wonder if it comes from this crazy idea that black women either don't deserve luxury or that it's hard, so hard to believe that they can achieve it in a way that is, quote, acceptable. Hence, I always see comments around gold diggers and sugar babies, or this idea that they're faking it, which I know I said is possible, but like not everyone's faking it. There's sometimes this assumption that a rich man must be involved, or there's this weird demand to know exactly how you've made every single penny. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it makes me wonder, like, guys, there are black women who have been living a luxurious lifestyle. And yes, social media amplifies everything, and yes, it makes us show our lives more. And yes, there might be some people who are faking it to keep up with the Joneses, but also there are some people who are not faking it. So why is it so hard to believe? And why does it bring out this anger in you to see a black woman living a luxurious lifestyle? Question everything. You know, I say it, dig deep and question everything. I doubt there's anyone listening to my video right now, but that is something you should probably look at. And you know what my biggest question was when I was like preparing for this video? My question was, I'll be honest, why does this even have a name? Why have we labeled this? Or why has it become a trend or a movement or a lifestyle or whatever it is, whatever category you put it in? Can't it just be black women living luxuriously as a simple verb? Like, it's just what they are doing. Like, I'm describing this thing that is happening and it's a black woman and she lives a life of luxury, as opposed to, I don't know, a title, or like I said, a movement or a trend. I did look into this, and to be honest, I think I found a simple explanation, which makes me think, Adella, calm down. As humans, labeling things, it just helps us to organize the information that we receive. It kind of reduces the amount of decisions we have to make if we've already sort of titled something and given it a characteristics or assigned feelings or whatever to it. Obviously, in some cases, this whole like labeling thing, or I guess in an extreme sense, stereotyping can be a bad thing, but just on a human brain level, it's just something that we do. We like to organize things, we like to give them titles and labels and categories, and it just helps us not overload our mind. And it's also a way that we just communicate as humans. Rather than like long-winded explanations every time you want to refer to a woman living a lifestyle of luxury, you just give it a title and it's just an easy way to convey like the topic that you're talking about. So I guess in a way, rather than maybe looking at it as a label or title or trend, you could look at it as a language. But I think what was once used as a simple survival tactic, like, yeah, let's categorize stuff, let's give our brains less work, has evolved into potentially less necessary labels. And my question was, does this fall into that less necessary label? Again, I think it depends on what you are actually categorizing this in. For example, if you think it's a movement, then maybe it's not less necessary. But if it's a trend, I would argue that maybe it's not necessary. Because then mixed with this trend obsessed social media, that title and social media, you might have a toxic storm on your hands. Where in the case of Black Girl Luxury, where perhaps once it was a lifestyle that was just simply lived, or maybe even aspired to, and aspired to because of your natural disposition of things that you like. In some cases, and like with many other trends, it may have become a classic case of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, or whatever that saying is. A feeling that you must comply to this specific trend, even if it's not your natural disposition to be wanting or living that way or desiring those things. I strongly believe that life is very serious in many ways. So where it's possible to have fun and not be serious, why not? When something isn't harmful, when it doesn't conflict with your morals and your beliefs, why now come and add rules? That means if you enjoy trend hopping, or you enjoy hopping on this particular trend or this particular look, if you want to adopt a certain lifestyle or a certain aesthetic, or you feel drawn to a particular movement, go for it. What I would caution you though, is that you don't become unnecessarily tied to something to the point of stress or restriction. And I have been there myself. I used to do it to myself all the time. I'd say, you know, I want to adopt this look. I want to become this kind of person. I want to be sexier. That's something I used to say all the time. And I found it so unnecessarily stressful. One day recently, I put on an outfit and I was blown away by how comfortable I felt for the whole day. I realized that this look is 100% my look. And if I change my mind in a month, then I will change my look. Maybe it's forever, maybe it's temporary, I don't know, but it really isn't something that I need to be stressing myself about. And that's how I feel about Black Girl Luxury and other trends that you can, I don't know, you can remove that and place something else. It's not by force. If it's your natural disposition, if it's something that you aspire to, go for it. But I wouldn't put it in a category of things that are so important, unless again, you think it's some sort of movement. I'm not talking about that. But I wouldn't put it in a category of something that is so important that you must stress yourself or go beyond your means or go against your natural self to ascribe to it and then cause stress and maybe cause disdain when you don't meet that bar that you're setting. That's my opinion on it. As always though, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have I missed something? Like, is this deeper than a trend? And if it is, let me know. I'm all ears. If you agree with me, great. But as always, let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Check out some of my related videos and I will see you in my next video. Bye.